Women who became pregnant in 2020 now seem to wear a badge of honor after giving life during what will surely go down in history as one of the deadliest years on record. The COVID-19 pandemic meant overcoming significant struggles for all of us. But as Q2's Andrea Lutz reports, for many others, the year 2020 will also go down in history as one of the greatest.
As the mother of a pandemic baby myself, I know it helps to talk about last year with others who have had a similar journey. This story is for all of you COVID moms, hoping you find comfort and support in knowing others are right there with you.
It's a year that's going to be remembered for all the bad things, but then it's the best year too.
Joined together through sleepless nights and precious snuggles, 5 women come together to share their journey of motherhood through a global pandemic.
I found out I was pregnant in April, so pretty close to the beginning of everything. And then we were so careful.
As my due date got closer, COVID came into the picture.
And being pregnant during a pandemic has been harder than I thought it would be.
Later, we found out that we were pregnant the week that everything kind of went into lockdown. And then a month after that, we found out it was twins.
2020 brought each of us a handful of unknowns and struggles, but there's a distinct difference when you're fighting through those challenges with another life in your belly or in your arms.
While I was in the hospital is when masks became mandatory for hospital workers. From the day I went in to the day I left, we went from the hospital was normal, we left and the hospital was on lockdown. Everyone was in masks, you had to do temperature checks.
Those milestone doctor's appointments all of a sudden became standalone sessions.
I have the most vivid memory of laying there and having the doctor tell me, oh, look, there's twins. And I was there by myself and just like a single tear rolled down my cheek into my mask.
My husband and I went through IVF to get pregnant, and we were the last cycle before everything got shut down with COVID. From there, we kind of had a complicated pregnancy. So for the first 20 weeks, I was on bed rest, which weirdly kind of actually worked out with the whole pandemic. We couldn't do anything anyways, so we weren't being pulled to go out to do anything.
And finally, when those cherished COVID babies were born, reality of the outside world set in.
My due date was December 2nd, and on November 28th, I started having cold symptoms. And I was like, oh, there's just no way. We've been so careful. And the day before my due date, I got an email, not even a phone call, I got an email saying that I was positive. And we just went into shock. We were just completely in shock and panicked. And then my water broke the next morning at 6 a.m. on my due date. And everyone was great, but they had to completely suit up before coming in the room with us. And it just couldn't be the like really nurturing experience that you would maybe want.
My mom and my husband's parents didn't get to see her in person for 2 weeks because we didn't know to quarantine. So they did window viewings.
And life for a working mother as we knew it had changed too.
Every morning we have a staff meeting. That's what my husband and I call it. I've had so many Zoom calls where I'm nursing or feeding a baby or rocking somebody or having a 3-year-old pop up behind me.
And for those still navigating what's ahead, there's hope.
There's no real risk I can see about getting the vaccine. While it felt scary, I also felt super lucky to be able to have that because being a nurse, I'm just at higher risk. I feel good about it, and I've been able to kind of contribute to some studies. So hopefully there is more information out there for other moms who are considering it.
When we look back at 2020 and the lives brought into a world of mayhem, oftentimes a mother wouldn't picture it any other way.
What sticks out to you the most?
The weirdest thing about this year is it's been so hard on so many people for so many different reasons. Whether you got sick, whether you lost somebody, whether you missed out on seeing people because of this. For us, at least for me, like this year has been the best year of my life. 2020 brought me everything.
I feel like we're kind of nearing the end of a lot of this stuff as more people are getting vaccinated and the numbers are falling. And so I feel really hopeful, honestly.
When I look back at 2020, it was the best year of my life, as hard as it was and as scary.
Because each birth story, no matter its circumstance, is oftentimes a misty-eyed adventure.
But it's like a warrior. Like you can look each other in the eye and be like, I see you. We've both been through something, whether it's being scared at appointments by yourself or it's dealing with armfuls of kids while you're stuck at home trying to type out an email. You know, I felt like a superwoman when I had one kid, and now I really feel like one.
In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
Thank you so much for sharing that story, Andrea.